I'm Pam Tarocco. This is Paul Schultz. And I was thinking, Paul, as we were thinking about how we would talk about the issue of co-therapy, I'm just remembering how long we've known each other.
A long
We've
time.
known each other for like about 30 years.
76 at least, 74, something like that. Long.
And we've worked together a lot over the years, and that's so important for co-therapists. Not that they have to start out with 30 years experience, but getting to know each other. And we learned a lot together, you know?
Oh yeah, we learn from each other. We learn from watching each other work in the groups, because there's some things that you're better at than me, some things that you hear, some things that you see, that I sort of sense that something's going on, but I can't put my finger on it. You can.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. So it's very helpful to...
I remember that was an important thing, actually, that I learned from you, because for a while when I was green, I felt that I'm supposed to be able to do everything. And when I finally realized that I have a co-therapist, not only because it's better for the patients to have two of us to work with, but it's also helpful to me. And sometimes I can sit back and while you're working with a patient, I can be looking at what's happening to the other people in the group and pick up on important things there. Or sometimes help a patient in terms of how, if I see them getting kind of stuck with you, I can ask them how they feel, how they react to you, and it might be easier for them to tell me than it would be to tell you directly.
And I can remember the first few times I had a co-therapist come into the group with me. This would have been Ron Hook, who I knew for many years. He knew me. Same kind of a deal. We understood each other. We knew our strengths and weaknesses. And from the very first session, patients began, my individual patients, began to talk about things they hadn't talked about in the year or two they knew me. Because they felt safer, knowing that there's another therapist there to turn to, somebody who would help them say what's on their mind. Not that they were hiding it. I think they just sort of unconsciously
Some things just didn't occur to them.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't occur to people to say when they're not so comfortable. And yet there's this long-standing assumption in therapy that if you just give people a place, they'll just talk about everything that matters to them. And it doesn't happen that way.
Oh, it certainly
like
doesn't.
in the group, more things get stimulated anyway, because there's so many relationships each person has to deal with, the one with me and with you and with their fellow patients. And if we're there and we're sharp and we're working well together, we can make room for a lot of things that just wouldn't come up otherwise.
Well, and we help people say things to one another. Like you might help one person speak, I might help another person speak to each other in ways that they otherwise wouldn't speak.
And ways they sometimes wouldn't speak to their husband or their wife or their sister or brother.
And of course, one of the things that I think is so special is being able to consult as often as we do, before and after the groups, many times between the groups.
Essential, really.
Essential. I might have an individual session with somebody that we work together with in the group and consult with you about what just happened in the individual session to give ourselves better bearings on what we do with that person when we get together.
Right. Even though we wouldn't, without permission, reveal something that happened in the individual session, that you and I know about it, usually it has to do with a theme that's ongoing in the patient. Anyway, I've had the opportunity, really the privilege, of working with a number of co-therapists over the years. And I've learned so much from each one, and each one has really been very helpful to me as well as to the patients. So it's really invaluable. I would not have come as far in developing myself as a therapist if I worked always by myself, I think.